So if you're a Christian like me, you love the stories in the Bible, right? Who doesn't? I think even a lot of non-believers can appreciate the Bible stories, and even though they may see them as just mere stories, but we know these to be historical accounts of real events. But as a kid growing up, it's always the Bible stories that have fascinated, sparked my imagination. Jonah and the whale, Adam and Eve, in the garden, David and Goliath, Samson, uh, Peter walking on water, Jesus walking on water. All the stories have always just sparked my imagination, has increased my wonder of the Lord. And like I said before, as a child, you didn't have to convince me about God. It just made sense to me. I think it was more of a challenge to convince me that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny was real than to try to convince me about the reality of God and what life was all about and how we got to be here. So being taught these things as a child, it just came natural to me. It just made sense to me then, and it makes sense to me now, even more so now, being my age and having traveled through life and explored all the different options out there as far as how we came to be here, how life started, and so on. And so I've always came back to the Bible as the story of creation as being the only thing that makes sense to me. So as I begin to grow and the more I begin to learn about our faith and just the different stories in the Bible, the more I begin to relate to these biblical characters from a human point of view, begin to have life experiences of my own, the more these stories begin to take on more and more meaning for me. Because now I can relate to the people from a humanistic point of view, okay? Once I begin to learn with, uh, the ups and downs of life and being discouraged and feeling fear and afraid, all the different things that we're going to experience being human beings. And once I began to experience those things myself, the stories in the Bible became so much more relatable because now I can relate to the characters within the Bible. I can relate to a David. I can relate to a Moses. I can relate to their challenges that they were experiencing as well. And so one of the things that's always fascinated me, way back when, when I think about it now, the fact that my mind was even uh, considering these things, even in my youth, just says something. But especially more so now. As you get older, things just take on a whole fuller meaning for you. Okay. It was the how the children of Israel who experienced God firsthand. I mean, He parted the Red Sea. That's an obvious miracle. I mean, it don't get no more obvious than that. Just the fact of how God brought them out of Egypt and performed all these miracles for them, plain as day for you to see. But then when Moses went up on Mount Sinai and received the Ten Commandments, by the time he returned to the camp, they had already turned their backs on the Lord and erected a golden calf and began to worship that, carrying their Egyptian idolatry ways with them. And so, that story is all throughout the Bible of the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, experiencing God firsthand for themselves, and then over a period of time, uh, falling into a deep idolatry and turning their back on the Lord all the way, and then God will have to come back and restore. It's all throughout the Bible, that's how the children of Israel was always going into exile, and I mean the Bible is pretty unique in describing their journey in this world. But what I want to do, Saints, is just to show you how that even with these people, hold on, Samson, come here. Stop. Come here. Come over here. You're on the sidewalk. Come on, man. Look, he's just doing what he want to do. Come on. Come back on the road. Okay. So, back to what I was saying. But yeah, it just goes to show. It just goes to show that we do the same thing even in our own lives. And so I want to bring this to a more personal note. We always have to remind ourselves of God's goodness, because we can't rely on yesterday's blessing, yesterday's miracle to carry us through for the rest of our lives. It just doesn't work like that. It didn't work for the children of Israel. It's not going to work for your life today. You can see God move mightily for you today and then wake up tomorrow and experience doubt and fear. It's just the human side of us, the flesh always rebels against the things of Christ. So, saints, I just want to encourage you that in this walk of faith, you're going to go through that. You will have moments. We like to describe it as being in the wilderness, going through different challenges, where it may seem like, it may feel like that God ain't hearing you, that you're bumping up against a wall in your faith, like it doesn't really seem to be doing anything. And I just want to encourage you, saints, that it's during those times that you really lean in hard, dig deep into your faith. Because what I've learned is that these are the times that you're going through a process, okay? You have to understand something. There's a sanctification process going on in your life if you're a Christian. And that process is going to require, stop. That process is going to require enduring hard times, tough times, silent times, lean times, all that, right? This is how God uses the challenges of life to draw us closer unto Him and to get to trust Him more and to grow in our faith. So you will be challenged as far as your faith goes. That's a natural occurrence. You're going to have that. Every single one of us experiences that. So, saints, I just want to encourage you that in those moments that you don't lose heart. Stop, Samson. That you don't lose faith and that you stay connected to the Lord. Develop a routine with your relationship with the Lord and stick to it. By all means, do not deviate and don't go off of how you feel. This is not a feelings-based faith, okay? This is a faith-based faith. We do it all on faith. And God has promised us that His word is faithful and true. And I bear witness that His word is faithful and true. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, hit me with a subscribe. Hit me with a like. Helps our algorithm. And leave a comment. I welcome it all. So thank you for watching. I'm just out here on my walk, evening walk. Just trying to share my thoughts and be an encouragement, okay? So until next time.